Hey guys, my name is MomoSeventh, and I am a Blight main with a 1,730 ongoing streak, which is the longest in the world. Because of my vast experience on Blight, many people have come into my chat in the last few days and asked me what I think of the new changes that have come out with the 7.5.0 patch. I've been asked this so many times, I thought why not make a YouTube video, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to be going over every single add-on change and basic change that has happened with the Blight, as well as some of his bugs, and I'll be honestly giving my feedback as to how good the killer is after all of these changes. With that being said, let's hop right into it. Let's get started with some of his add-ons. The first add-on I want to talk about is Adrenaline Vial. Before the changes, Adrenaline Vial was honestly the most insane add-on in probably the entire game, if not just for Blight. It did reduce your turn rate, but that did not really matter since you had 7 rushes to use, as well as double the recharge time, as well as a tiny bit of an extra speed that went a very long way. Adrenaline Vial gave you insane mobility, insane chase potential, and pretty much was an Alchemist Ring, but one that worked on not only hits but also broken pallets, missed hits, brushes used for mobility. It was just such a strong add-on that made Blight so much more lethal, and definitely was deserving of a nerf. Behavior did realize this, and they ended up nerfing it in the 7.5.0 PTB, making it so that the double recharge was removed, which I thought was a very good change. However, after they did this, they decided to go back on it in the live servers, and now we are left with this behemoth of an add-on. 7 rushes to use, as well as an extra speed, and no more reduced turn rate at all. This add-on went from the best add-on in the game to pretty okay, you know, kind of a trade-off add-on in the PTB, to once again the best add-on to use on Blight. If you want to win and use the sweatiest things possible, sweatiest add-ons, sweatiest builds, Adrenaline Vial is absolutely something you should be using. My opinion on this change is I am not really a big fan. I don't think that Adrenaline Vial should be this strong. I did like what Behavior did in the PTB. I thought it should have remained that way. But I will not lie, and I will not lie to you guys when I say that it is not fun to play. However, it is very unbalanced. Of course, the next add-on change we have to talk about is double speed, receiving a substantial nerf from 10% consecutive rush to 5% when put together. Obviously 3% for Crow and 2% for Rat. This makes it so that even if you're running both speed add-ons, it is still slower than just Crow by itself before this update. Honestly, when you're playing in game, you don't really notice this as much. The extra speed is still very much appreciated, even if it's a little bit less. I thought this would be a change that would make more of an impact, but honestly, I really feel like Blight is still in a good spot. He's still able to get pallets out of the way, still able to pressure, chase extremely well. Of course, a lot of the times he does not get hits he used to be able to, and against the best of the best players, he is going to have a hard time around fillers from now on. However, this does not mean that Blight cannot simply 2-rush break the pallet and zone, as was already arguably the best strategy anyways. My overall opinion of this change is, although I'm not really supportive of how much they nerfed it, I would prefer for them to kind of tone it down a tiny bit, but really not nerf it to the ground as they did. Regardless, I'm very biased, so of course I'm not gonna like this change. Double speed is like my go-to add-ons. All things considered, I think I'm very grateful that they left it in the game. They could have just completely removed speed from Blight, similar to how they removed the recharge add-ons from Nurse. So honestly, I'm quite grateful. And although, once again, I would rather they have kept the 10%, 5% is honestly definitely still enough. And double speed is not a bad add-on combination whatsoever. Alchemist Ring used to be one of the best add-ons in the entire game, definitely first or second best add-on for Blight. It just made Blight pretty much constantly have his rushes. Even in the hands of a mediocre Blight, it made the world of difference, and it was absolutely deserving of a nerf. I think the way they changed it was very creative, and it's still pretty good. Not as broken as it was before, of course, but still, you know, very solid add-on, very worth using, gives you that extra duration for the rushes, which of course gives you a lot more distance and improves your mobility. Although old Alchemist Ring was admittedly very fun, especially if you were just messing around, it was not very fun for the survivors on the opposite side. So I definitely think this was a very good change. My overall thoughts, I think Behavior could not have done this any better. Overall, very creative change. I'm very surprised they didn't just slap Mangled on like they did with many of the other killers in their add-on reworks. So yeah, actually very well done by Behavior. I will miss old Alchemist Ring for sure, but honestly, good riddance in terms of balance. So yeah, very good change here. Not really much else to say. Lastly, on the list of add-on changes, we have the 2 Iridescent Addons. Firstly, we have Compound 33. Compound 33 was genuinely an insane add-on. It made Blight into a pallet breaking machine even more than he already is. You pretty much had to pre-drop against him no matter what, and then, even then you wouldn't make that much distance because he would bump and you'd also be slowed, which was the additional effect. So yeah, very insane add-on. And then whenever the PTB came around, it became even crazier because they made it so that it was 33% additional turn rate per rush. And this was able to be combined with the other Iridescent add-on, Iridescent Blight tag, which at the time gave you infinite rushes with pretty much only a 20-second cooldown whenever you landed a hit. So basically you had this Blight that had infinite rushes and could turn as if he was walking around at a normal speed of 9.2 meters per second. So that was a very funny time in the PTB. Thankfully they did nerf those 2 add-ons. I don't know what I would have done if they didn't. But yeah, Iridescent Blight tag, of course, we'll talk about that. Very good add-on before. It was easily countered by lockers, but the general player base did not know that. So it's still a very good add-on. However, it was countered by lockers. All you really had to do, get into locker in the 5th rush, and the add-on was pretty much useless. But yeah, once again, general player base did not know that, so it still got a lot of value. Good nerfs from behavior, I would say. Overall, in the live servers, they did a very good job. As you can see in the screen, pretty decent add-ons still, pretty niche, but they're not overpowered like they were in the PTB. Final thing we need to talk about in this video is his base kit, as well as some other bugs and weird things I've noticed after the update. First and foremost, I want to say that I am really happy with the pallet breaking change they made. I've actually been advocating for this for a very long time. Basically, instead of getting your rushes back as soon as you touch the pallet, now you need to go through the full animation in order to get your rushes back. And I think this is a very good change because before Blight could 2 rushes break a pallet, and by the time he's fully done with the animation, he'll maybe have 1 second or so where he doesn't have his power, and then bang, he has his power again, and you're most likely gonna have to drop another pallet or get hit. So now with this change, Blight takes a little bit longer to get his rushes back. Whenever he breaks a pallet, it's as if he got a hit. He has to go through the full animation of breaking the pallet, and then his charges start to come back, which gives the survivor a lot more time, a lot more leeway, and still makes him quite strong at zoning, but not as ridiculous as he was before. Overall, a very good change from behavior. I'm very happy with the new pallet break of Blight. However, I will say it does seem quite buggy. The animation could be a little bit better, in my honest opinion, but honestly, it's not really a big deal. Definitely something you can get used to. Another thing that's important to talk about is the Shadowborn update. This honestly helps Blight so much. FOV is a huge thing. I did not use Shadowborn before the update because I did not want to use only 3 perks. Now that Shadowborn is base kit, you can have maximum FOV. Oh my god, it is completely different for Blight, and it absolutely makes up for the lack of speed from the nerfed speed add-ons. Those 2 base kit changes were pretty huge and honestly changed Blight quite a bit. So I think overall pretty decent changes from behavior. Obviously, I'm loving the max FOV, not only on Blight, but every killer. Very grateful to behavior because of that. But there is one thing that's kind of going wrong with Blight now, and I've noticed that I'm pretty sure this might be a blighted rat issue. But whenever Blight gets a hit sometimes, he unfortunately goes into this fatigue. It's very odd. I'll definitely show some clips of that. But yeah, I definitely think that's a bug. I'm not sure that's intended, and there's some other like wonky bugs that have been happening. It's just not very clean. So if I could have them revert one thing, I would really love for them to try and fix the pallet break animation, because it does look quite wonky right now. Try to fix this bug that's been happening with fatigue, and honestly, if they do those 2 things, I would be very happy, and I think Blight is in a very good spot. I'm just going to say this for the record, even though to me, I think this seems pretty obvious from the video. I do think that Blight is still the 2nd best killer in the game, right behind Nurse. I think that this does not really move him at all. Sure, he's definitely been nerfed, but he is still such an insane killer. Insane mobility, insane chase, insane pressure, insane tunnel, just insane everything, honestly. Blight is just still the juggernaut of Dead by Daylight. And I don't really see anything changing that anytime soon. But yeah. With that being said though, there are a couple of changes probably coming up in July, as Behavior, or it might have been June, I'm actually unsure. Behavior released that they are going to be once again updating Blight, and this time it will be his base kit involved as well. So I will most likely be making another video whenever that does come out, but I hope you guys have enjoyed my kind of reactions and commentary to the new Blight changes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and make sure you catch me on my streams, twitch.tv/MomoSeventh. With that being said, much love, guys, everyone. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your night or day or whatever it is, and I will hopefully see you either on my stream or in another video. Bye bye, guys.